We turn now to what's been a major decision impacting a key pillar of the Trump agenda. A federal judge in Maryland ordered the Trump administration to temporarily reinstate thousands of probationary federal employees who were recently fired. Now, that ruling came after a federal judge out in San Francisco issued a similar decision. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small joins us from the White House this morning with more on this. Taurean, what can you tell us about these decisions which seem to reverse so many firings?
Yeah, Errol, this district judge, William Alsop, issued this pretty forceful rebuke of the DOJ's handling of this case, arguing that he believes attorneys representing the United States hid details regarding who's directing these mass firings. At the heart of this, though, the judge isn't saying that the United States government isn't allowed to do these firings, but he believes that the United States has not done so through legal procedures in terms of a reduction in force, which is why he reversed that decision. Again, it doesn't leave the door open for this to be permanent, but the United States has to go through the proper channels in order for this reduction in force to actually happen.
You can just imagine how confusing these weeks have been for those employees who have been fired. I also want to ask you about this. Mr. Trump asking the Supreme Court now to get involved in this battle over his executive order to end birthright citizenship. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, 3 different courts have already ruled against Donald Trump's executive action that he took on day one when it comes to birthright citizenship. What's interesting about the Trump administration's filings to the United States Supreme Court is the fact that it spends a lot of time talking about how the power of these lower courts should be narrowed when it comes to rulings that could affect the country at large, which is why he believes, the president, that the Supreme Court should be weighing in at this point. It's focusing on whether or not the lower court's powers should be narrowed as it relates to this question that he's asking about birthright citizenship, Errol.
And Taurean, considering some courts are limiting what the Trump agenda can do, what should we expect from Mr. Trump's speech at the Department of Justice today?
Well, he previewed it yesterday, saying that he's going to talk about this shared vision that he has for the Department of Justice. While he says it is up to ultimately the people who were appointed, so that's Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General, now U.S. Attorney General, and Kash Patel, who serves as the head of the FBI. He says that it's ultimately his agenda that he's pushing for, which, you know, has been quite the topic of controversy for Democrats as they went through the confirmation process. This is quite an unusual speech because the White House tends to preach independence from the Department of Justice. Now we're seeing it goes hand in hand that this is, in fact, Trump's apparent appeal to make sure that the Department of Justice is in line with his agenda.
All right, I know we'll be watching that closely. Taurean, thank you very much. Appreciate your reporting.